I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. I was born to preach the gospel. I was born to preach the gospel. I'm born to preach the gospel. And I sure do love my job. Yeah. Yes, I really love my job. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Yes, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. So let's get firmly rooted. Oh, I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted. Let's get firmly rooted. Yeshua, 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 Yeshua. I'm a disciple that makes disciples that makes disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. We are disciples that make disciples that make disciples. Let's get firmly rooted. Firmly rooted.
Hey, good morning, Firmly Rooted family. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Ministries, and we're strengthening our roots. We are looking at the crucifixion of Jesus. It's kind of crazy. We've done it in John and Sunday morning, and now we're doing it in Mark in our Strength in Our Roots, and they're kind of crossing over for me sometimes. But first, let's see who's on board. Jackie Matus, good morning. Vivian Davis, good morning. Diane Giroux, good morning. Brian Vlaming, good morning. Alice says, good morning from Rooted family. I pray you all have a wonderful week. Amen to that. Olivia Thompson, good morning from the Rooted, feeling on fire after yesterday's sermon. Wow, well, thank you. And I got a lot of comments yesterday, especially from some young people. Olivia, it's going to be interesting. We've had probably 8 young adults starting to come all of a sudden to Firmly Rooted, and boy, they resonated with yesterday's message too. And I think I'd like to maybe talk to you sometime about why in particular did that resonate with you, because it sure resonated with all of them as they came up to talk to me after the service. All right, so let's see. Aaron did Live and Sent. So the last thing that I did was Mark 15:21, when Simon of Cyrene, who's just traveling, right, going to see his family, and he's forced to carry the cross. Why? Because Jesus has just got nothing left in the tank. He has been beaten. He's been up for, nearly 48 hours. He is just had a lot of abuse, emotional, physical, spiritual warfare that's going on in his life as he is working to be obedient to the Father and fighting. And so this Simon of Cyrene has to carry the cross. And we find out that he's the father of Alexander and Rufus, which would tell most theologians and Bible commentators that to know that kind of information means that he must have become a believer. And so his family was well known. The next verse is they brought Jesus to the place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. The Romans didn't have in a lot of cities the opportunity to put their crucifixions on such a graphic spot like they did in Jerusalem. Outside of Jerusalem, there is this stony structure that from a distance looks like a skull. And so it suited them very well. So one of the things you have to understand is that the Romans, when they crucified prisoners or people for insurrections and whatnot, when they crucified people, they always did it outside the town, and they always did it on the main thoroughfare getting into town. It was a warning. It was a warning that the Romans were in control, and as you went into town, here were these crosses, and here were these people hanging on these crosses. And even if there was no one hanging on the crosses on that day, they were there, bloodied up, a remembrance. But in Jerusalem, outside the main gate, not too far away from the gate, is this rock formation that looks like a skull. And they named it Golgotha, which obviously they say the place of the skull. And so it had significant meaning that it kind of spoke death, and the Romans could use that rock formation as a place of tremendous warning to people. Don't buck the Roman system. Don't buck the Roman system. If you do, you're going to face capital punishment. You're going to face this. But we have to remind ourselves at this moment that Jesus is absolutely innocent. He's been silent. He hasn't even defended himself. The only question that he really answered is, are you a king or are you the Messiah? And to both, he said yes. I want you to think of the Day of the Atonement, when 2 goats would be brought to the high priest. He would confess all the sins of the nation on this one goat. And then he would cut the innocent goat's neck and have the priest take the one that had all the sins confessed on it and set it free. And then he would take the blood of the goat, the innocent one, and he'd take it back behind the Holy of Holies, and he'd sprinkle it on the propitiation seat underneath the angel's wings as an act of redemption for the whole nation. Jesus is being crucified on Golgotha, and his blood's going to drop on the earth, and hence he's the propitiation for the sins of the whole world. The innocent one being sacrificed for the guilty. So although there's 2 thieves with him, he is not a thief. Except Michael Card says in a song that only a thief dies this way, and so Jesus must be a thief who's trying to take our hearts away, taken to him. He's stealing our hearts. It's just an interesting way in which he wove that into a song. But this is how thieves die. And if Jesus is a thief, the only theft he's done is steal us back from an enemy and make us his sons and daughters again. All right. We're going to talk about wine mixed with myrrh, I think, tomorrow. We're going to talk about dividing up his clothes the day after that. So I hope that this devotion was a blessing to you. Let's see if anybody else jumped on board. Nikki Chason, good morning. Thank you for the Bible study and powerful message at service yesterday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning, Julie. Bert Reggiani, good morning. Emily, good morning. Where is Emily? There she is. It was so good. I'm glad. I just want to know why it was so good. I second this, going back to today to listen again. Thank you, Olivia. Oh, you bet. Let me look at my notes tonight and I'll send them over. All right. I love you all and I love the feedback. I hope that this devotion was a blessing to you. Have a great day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.